And the whole weapons customization thing, that's nice too. I've almost got my Liberator Penetrator maxed out.
God damn. That was like the default one I went to too as well. To
You gonna
customize.
bring that in or what?
Is he here? Oh, I had toggled off because I was fucking.
Do we have any do we hear any echoing?
I don't from you.
I don't from
I need you to stop touching your bike. Just talk, John. No, that was him. If he his mood is this thing. I can as well.
I'm working on it. Right now.
Nope, I don't either.
Yep. I realized I've got two different two different
You had your stream set up.
no I don't. Hold on.
No, no, you had your stream like set up for your audio set up for your stream. Sorry, I should specify.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I've got two different settings when it comes like two different internal settings when it comes to mic. I've got my actual computer settings and then I've got my Realtek audio settings. Yeah,
No, it's
it
just
is.
like
It's
hmm?
I'm working on it. Hold on. What about now?
Slightly.
Now?
Still slightly.
Let me drop this down to 70. All right, I'm on Streamlabs at this point, just getting everything set up. What about now? Second bear. Not running two different audios.
Realtek is just a bit. It's a baked in. That's who the audio drivers are from. Oh my god! Stop hitting! You gotta stop hitting your table, dog.
Yeah, my bad. Oops. Yeah,
Whenever you
how the fuck can you? My mic isn't picking up my voice anymore, is what it's saying through Streamlabs. On. Do we want to? Do we have a fan on or something to kind of try to help with this? Because I think this might be.
that might be what it is actually. Because remember
We
last
don't
time
have that fan on.
we had background noise. Yes, might throw a fan on. I forgot about that. That's good looking out. That I might have to just do that every single time. That's funny. We'll see. Well, yeah, I can't either. I think literally it
Yeah, I think we
needs
have to have that fan on.
we have to have background noise, and that's it's too quiet. It had nothing to cancel out. That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Yep, I'll hit record and then we're good to go. I didn't hear you from over here.
I haven't
You
brought us
are.
in a hot minute.
Thought you did. I did last time. You did the time before me. I thought.
You didn't bring yourself in last Saturday?
No, we didn't record last Saturday because you both were gone.
No.
Yeah, I can too. Yeah.
Hold on. Jeez. What about now?
Yeah.
Me.
Literally since we've been doing this, it's been me, Jay, then you because of the way we're organized right now.
No, it isn't. I've always been on the left side.
Well, absolutely. I don't disagree, but literally the last episode we recorded, I stated you're
Me.
pointing at Jay. Now you're pointing at me. Yes. Well, because you're mirrored right now. It's in your settings, like your StreamYard settings. StreamYard. Now you're pointing at. I can't. You're pointing at me now. You're pointing at Fireball.
Yeah, hold on. Doing a couple last minute tweaks to see if we can't. I'm at 5 there. I'm at. Yeah, I can't turn myself any lower. Yes. I'm at 5 on my computer and I'm at 10 on my Realtek. Mhm. I'm at I'm on at I'm at level 5 on my internal computer settings. I'm at 10 on my Realtek audio console. My mic is disabled from my headset.
What are you confused
It is.
about? That's what I'm asking. What are you confused about? So he's talking about his and on his motherboard audio driver versus Realtek audio driver. There's not much of a difference there. Um, Realtek probably has finer controls. You could have Realtek as well. You just have to make sure you have the app downloaded. That's it. His probably came pre-installed more than likely.
Alright, let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll switch us over to the live view because I'm on stream starting right now.
Ready whenever you are. We're waiting on you.
I'm live.
What's up, Nomad Nation? You've got Godfather, you've got Fireball, you've got Chungus. We make up your Nomad Gamers. How do I have a frog at the very beginning
Already?
of this? Yeah. Mm. So, hey, if you are watching us over on Facebook, thank you very much for all your support and all your love. I haven't seen what our view. Somebody pull up our viewer count and tell me what we got.
I said, give me 5 seconds. I got you. Sorry.
anyways, if you're
Usually
watching
I
us,
try to do that beforehand. I just kind of forgot.
if you're watching us and you're not a follower, then please, 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 please hit the follow button, turn on your notifications. That way, every time we come live at you, you're going to know about it. And more importantly, this way we can go live every Saturday. Now,
89.
89, we're 11 away, boys.
Need 11 more. Yes. Sorry, I gotta.
Yep.
Give me a second. I got.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Somewhere down here, you're going to see a subscribe button. Somewhere over here, you're going to see a heart. Somewhere over by Fireball there, you're going to see a thumbs up. Do us a favor, smash all three of those. That way, every time we come live or we come at you with some recorded content, you're going to know. And then we have got all of the subscribers and all of the watchers on Godfather, on Nomad Gamers YouTube, live right now, and on Godfather's Twitch, that's Godfather09. And you've also got Fireball's TikTok going. You've got his Instagram, am I correct? Your Instagram going?
Nope. I'm trying to work things out differently with my Instagram, but right now I've got Kick, TikTok, Twitch, and I believe there's a fourth one out there, but I forget which one. And my YouTube.
Good deal. Well, welcome to all the live viewers right now. We really do appreciate you watching. And here in just a second, when we start going, I am going to share this over to the Nomad Gamers page, and that way we have full coverage tonight. So it's Shire News again. I guess I'll kick it off with a controversial topic, but kind of not. Um, did you guys see that interview by Take Two Interactive CEO on CNBC?
I have not
No, I
had a
did not.
chance to watch it yet.
So if you go over to Godfather's page, I I put it up on my page. He answers a lot of good questions about Grand Theft Auto 6, why it's delayed. Actually, he didn't answer any questions on that. The only thing he said is they want to polish it. Now, when the host asked him if he was a gamer and if he gamed, he said no. He said he was more of the moneymaker. Makes sense. When they asked him if the game was broken, he told them no. He said they're just polishing them. He says a lot of positive things in there, and he says a lot of irritating things. But at the end of the day, uh, it's only 6 months.
And again, I think this goes for something that Chungus and I both agree on is I'd rather have a polished game than release something that's still half polished and have.
Keep licking their boot. I want a game
I
that
will
works.
once they
I want a game that
give
works.
me a reason to not trust them. I won't trust them anymore.
Well, it
That's
has
how
nothing to
easy it
do.
is.
It has nothing to do with that, Chungus. Okay, it has everything to do with. It takes 3 to 7 years to make a game.
Used
Am I
to.
right or am I
Yes.
wrong? No, this is
Wrong.
as of today.
As of today,
As of today,
depends on the game. It depends on the game you are making.
it said most AAA developers takes 3 to 7 years to make a game.
That's not true.
Well, I'm just telling you what it said.
What
Three to
source
seven
is
years.
that then?
Game Rant. I found it over on IGN. I found it on a multitude of sites. The one terrible thing about, uh, oh, the producer's in, huh? No sound.
I can't go any higher. Otherwise, I'm echo.
We're still fighting with the audio.
There, I paused it. I paused it for the recording
Well,
at least.
yeah, we've got a lot live right now too. Okay, I got it.
Can you guys hear me better now?
I could hear you the same, honestly.
Yeah, we're gonna
Better?
I never
hear.
had a problem with. I didn't have a problem with hearing you, but that's different from what the
Yeah.
stream will hear you from. So
Hold on,
yeah,
I'm gonna turn it up real quick, but here we go. Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me a little bit better now?
yeah. Recommend maybe pointing the fan more towards Fireball.
Yeah, I turned myself up just a bit. I'm gonna turn myself up on Streamlabs just a bit more, and then let's try this now.
Okay. So back to what I was saying before. The one problem about the gaming industry is there is no set gold standard of reporting. There just isn't. Um, however, how I uh, what's the word I want? The way I grade information is if I can find a multitude of the same information. Granted, it's going to be a little different, but if the meat and potatoes is there, and I'm finding out Game Rant, IGN, CSNBC, just different sites, then I take it. But I'm not here to argue tonight about Grand Theft Auto 6. I was just reporting one thing. I'm not getting into a big ass argument about it. So I was just wondering if you guys had seen that video yet, because it is very interesting.
But again, I have not had a chance to
So
watch
for
it
you,
myself, but
so
I
for
do
you
know of
two,
it.
so for you two and all of our viewers out there, go to my page, Godfather on Facebook, and take a look at that interview. It is it's very informative.
Well, I will say this because I know how you said what 4 to 7 years for a
Three,
game,
three to
Three
seven.
to seven. Yeah,
37. Um, although I guess for certain games that's entirely true, but if you look at like the
depends
Call
on
of
the
Duty
game you're making.
series or you look at like any mainline series, this is definitely just me poking at Call of Duty because they release a game every year, and look how awful some of those games have turned out to be. Within the last like how long ago was Cold War? That was 2020, right? 2020, 2021.
Oh God.
How
Yeah,
many?
I believe so. Ooh,
So Cold War was done. It was made in 6 months,
and it showed. And it
and it
showed.
showed.
I'm not saying rush any game at 6 months or to a year. There ain't no damn time to get it right in 6 months to a year. But when you're near year seven, even with vacations, that shit should be done.
But again, this also comes back to the whole Rockstar has not lost any trust when it comes to
Stop,
creating a video
stop,
game.
Hold on.
stop, stop, stop. This topic was brought up because of Rockstar, but I'm not faulting Rockstar in itself. I am faulting all of them across the board. Okay, not just
Hold
There's no
on.
Rockstar.
other.
Hold on.
No,
Hold
there
on.
is Fireball. Bethesda is horrible at it. How long have we been waiting on Elder Scrolls?
How long
We've
has
been
Elder Scrolls been in production? I mean, like, how long did they
10
say
over
they
10
started
years.
working on Elder Scroll?
But you see, they jumped at and gave us Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
They also gave us Fallout 76.
Right, I understand that. Maybe that's because they hadn't started working on that project yet.
They have been
It's
working
not.
on it.
It's
Back when they announced uh, Fallout 76 on, I believe it was E3. I think it was the summer of 17 when they announced it. Maybe the summer of 16, one of the two. But they had just brought out another mobile game for Elder Scrolls. and everyone knew that it went Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and I think they had a third title at that time. Go ahead.
Fact check real quick. Elder Scrolls 6 did not start. It entered pre-production, which again we've already stated what pre-production
Mhm.
is, in 2018, formally being announced by Bethesda's Electronic Entertainment Expo 3. The game entered active production in 2023 following Starfield's launch.
Okay. And you guys know how much I
So
love Starfield. You know how much I love that
yeah,
game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is no excuse why Starfield came out before Elder Scrolls. None. Zero.
I
Zilch.
mean,
there is no. There is, but in and of itself, realizing how development works and the process it takes,
Okay. I get that
they
part.
definitely hold on. They definitely did not have the
hey
storyboards, the
Chungus,
scope.
you're breaking out pretty bad.
I'm breaking up pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Am I? Okay, it's just your end then. Um,
Yeah.
so you have to realize that they didn't have necessarily the storyboard or the scope of the game that they wanted to make quite yet. Hence pre-production, getting their ideas down, everything solidified and entering active production in 2023. So in the meantime, while they're still trying to figure out how they even want to make this game, they have to have some money coming in. A lot enter 76, which launched that same year that they started pre-production for Elder Scrolls 6, and still wasn't ready by then. So they're like, all right, we wanted to do Starfield. Starfield was going to be in 2026 originally. Let's make that and release that a little early. They did, and it clearly shows that they did kind of rush through it to get it out in time in a timely manner. Because again, if they waited like 6 more months, I felt like that game could have been really polished. I state this for the sheer fact of this industry. Like I don't know if you. That's why I keep bringing up the development of games and anything like that. Because there's this term within the how they say in the industry, it's called crunch, development crunch, time crunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where um, compulsory overtime, during it's pretty common in the gaming industry, not just the gaming industry. I want to specify, but it's pretty common where they will work 65 to 80 hours for extended periods of time, often uncompensated, which is undercompensated. I should specify. Um, but it's just this issue of where they could have massive teams, sure, but if they're pushing them day in and day out to try to get this game out in 3 to 7 years, certain games can do that. Call of Duty absolutely easily could do that. Battlefield easily they can do that. They do that often. They do it now. When you have the games and scope that Bethesda, that Rockstar, that hell, even I'm trying to think of it, like Larian Studios make, those games are going to take some time, especially if you want to get it right and deliver a product that's going to keep people talking about it for years.
I think,
People are
and I
still talking about Baldur's Gate 3. That game came out in 2023. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, it's still fairly new, so it suffers from the
you
recency
know,
bias. But
and think about this. Think about like how anticipated GTA 6 has been since what, 2017?
when it was first announced,
Mm-hmm.
like literally once I was like, they're actually making it. Okay,
And I will say this because it is no longer funny. Those people in the comments that say, "Oh, we got this before GTA 6," those comments aren't funny anymore.
they're hilarious. We got a real quick, just to give an example. We got China and India at war before GTA 6. Crazy, bro.
We got a new pope before GTA 6.
That's crazy. No, but I do, some of those jokes are funny. Some of them are not. I get you, depending on the usage, it could be funny. But again, not to bring this up too often to argue or anything like that. I just want it to be stated to for people to understand that when we want better graphic fidelity, bigger scope type of game, it's going to take time to do right. Otherwise, we're going to end up with complete disasters launch like 76
Got 7
And
years
as
again,
left
a
on it.
prime
and
as a prime example. And I mean,
there
I'm gonna be
are
you hold on, like you have to again just the scope of everything that they want to do. I I guarantee you, I'm mark my words. Take this as an official on record. GTA 6 is probably going to be one of the best game. No, not one of the best. It will be the best game of this decade. I can guarantee you
Oh yeah,
that.
it's definitely going to be that. Hey, Fireball, move that mic a little bit closer to your mouth. That's one comment I'm getting.
Like put your mouth
okay.
in it. Like just
Deep throated.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up like the video game with crunch and how, they want to push these products. People want these products pushed out faster, and then we're overworking people, and then they're not going to deliver as good as product. Hell, even Cyberpunk suffered from that. We got to let these companies take their time.
And again, like I'm trying to say is there are certain like video games. House of Void says, "Let me in. I need to play devil's advocate." But I will say this: there are certain games out there that deserve to have long development, that long development time because they need it. I mean, again, talking about a game like Call of Duty where they can chop out a game every year. That's they don't need that long 3 to 7 years for development.
They
And
should
then
honestly
if
take
they
at least 2 or 3.
but that's the thing is they came out and said we are going to start cycling to every other year of a game launch, and they still haven't done that.
They need to put in the cheater protection.
Eh, yeah, okay, like that'll ever happen.
Hey,
Um, but you get like again, you get a game like and this you might look at me with a strange face when I say this, but games single player games like Assassin's Creed, Baldur's Gate, well, they're not Baldur's Gate isn't really single player. I know you can play multiplayer with it, but good story games like that, they deserve to have that time to be able to not only fix things in their game, but also polish it up to make it an even better experience. You know, but Void said, "But do COD games ever really change?"
no.
I mean, there was a lot of change
Yes.
that came with Black Ops 6.
No, I'm just
Uh,
going to straight up state it. Yes, to a degree.
Turn point shoot.
When we start to after when you start to enter, I mean that's the same thing with Fallout. But anyway, when you enter different eras of the gaming industry, you see Call of Duty try to change and match the genre with what they're expecting people to like. I mean, we saw the shift from the modern warfare series to Black Ops 2 going to a little bit futuristic, and then they kept going with the futuristic stuff, and they went too far.
Yeah,
People
that's
started
where
to
they
get this
lost me.
sci-fi fatigue, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they lost me right at Black Ops 3. I'm not gonna lie to you, that story was ass. I'm gonna give it a buck with you. That campaign, garbage. The
So,
multiplayer was actually pretty fun. Zombies were pretty good
switching
too, but like
topics.
still,
okay, I
okay.
got a topic. So
Oh, you do?
it's already happening,
Uh,
but Super Earth needs us. Helldivers 2, the Illuminate have attacked Super Earth. It is all hands on deck to protect Super Earth. I believe the first city is there are 7 cities that we need to protect on Super Earth before Super Earth falls, and I believe the first city has already fallen, and we're not even like a quarter of the way through the Illuminate fleet yet.
they don't got the player count.
They don't got the player count for
There's only
this.
like
And this is
100,000
something
people playing that game right now.
this is something that I
Hold on,
thought
hold on, hold on, hold on.
Travis would
Before
bring up.
this is what pisses me off the most. I was on Helldivers 2 today fighting on Super Earth, and I looked
Mhm.
around the galactic map to see where people are. There are 7,000 fucking players on bugs.
Yeah, people played what
Two and a half
play.
thousand, 2,500 people on bots.
Hmm.
You're telling me that 128,000 people are on Super Earth fighting for Super Earth,
Hmm.
and you got fucking bug smashers that are like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go play out in the gloom." No, get your ass to fucking Super Earth and
Hey,
go.
fun fact: they paid for the game. They can play it how they want. You
And
can be,
that's a
hey, you
fact,
can cope,
Jack.
seethe, and you can cope, seethe, and mold all you want. However, they're having fun. Why aren't you? Why are you getting mad at them? They're just going to kill
Exactly.
bugs.
Because if we lose Super Earth, the game is over.
That's not true. Have you? You
Oh,
didn't
okay.
look or play at the first one. Um,
They're just gonna
they're
shut down
clearly
the
making
servers.
too much
We're done.
money. Yeah, no, they just restart. They just reset the star map. That's what happens.
Hmm.
The first game had like I don't even, like a couple hundred fucking wars that you go through essentially.
Hey, Chungus.
Um, yeah. What was so? By the way, I just want to point out, Godfather clearly was segueing into a topic he wanted to bring up. I just want to point that out real quick. Go ahead, Godfather.
Didn't he just bring up the first topic though?
He
He got to
did.
share with us.
He did, but he was going to segue into another topic, and you interrupted him.
Oh, he's very good at that. That should be Fireball's special attribute.
I just wanted to make sure you can say your piece.
But it's all good. Hey, this was kind of
That's
interesting.
all. I love you
Very
both, though.
interesting, actually.
Hmm.
No, no, no. I was bringing up something. I was just bringing up a filler. He can keep going.
Oh,
No,
I think his was also a filler. It's just talking about Helldivers 2.
It's all good.
You want to talk about some actual news? I will state this right now
Okay, what's
because
that?
this is a rumor. It's a
Oh,
well, it
rumor.
looks like he's not getting his
This is a
segue in
rumor.
now.
He literally just said we can keep going ahead.
yeah. Keep
Somebody
moving
didn't
ahead.
listen. I was going to bring up the fact that Nintendo has trademark,
Oh Lord.
yeah, trademarks, Nintendo trademarks, possible return of. Oh, I misread this completely. Never mind.
No,
Never
keep
mind.
going. We know
Keep
you
going.
read. Might as well
It's
just keep going.
uh, anyway. I read this, misread this as they're bringing back. They're thinking about bringing back the Nintendo DS. They're bringing back a Nintendo DS series.
Oh,
Is what it is.
yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
too.
that's why I was like, never mind. I was like, oops, misread that. Oh well. Anyway,
Well,
oops.
oops. Well,
I was
my
like,
news wasn't
Did you?
nothing huge. It was. Did you see that there's a sequel now to Cyberpunk 2077?
yeah, it's been codenamed Orion for a while.
Yep, I'm just seeing it.
Oh, really? You're just yeah. That was announced
Hmm.
like almost a year after the game had originally launched that they
Well,
were going to work on a sequel.
this one's saying that they're bringing a brand new map, multiple cities, including one inspired by Chicago, which means it's going to be a war zone.
Night City's
Um,
already a war zone, brother.
a main city
Yeah.
that has gone the wrong direction, pretty much the state of New York. More realistic, lifelike crowds, built using Unreal Engine, could launch sooner than Cyberpunk 2077 did. So take that for what you will. It's not coming from a very reputable site. I just ran across it. I'll do some more looking into it here in a little bit.
All I'll say is, show me the money, Jack. I ain't gonna listen to shit unless I start to see
Oh,
some evidence of things. I'm a wait. I want to be excited, but CD Project Red, you're on thin ice because you fucked up the first time. I enjoyed the story still, but that gameplay, I'm not gonna lie to you. When that game
The
first launched,
gameplay was
that I would
buns.
rather I being a little graphic here, I'd rather stick a toothpick in my toenail and kick a door frame. That
Uh,
gameplay was ferocious.
well, at least they pulled it back to fix it.
They did actually. They delayed it. Still was kind of ass, but they continuously updated it. Free updates. That's the entire lifespan. Paid for. You have to pay for one DLC that expanded even more into the story and everything. They turned Cyberpunk from a failure into a fucking masterpiece. And this is why we need to this the prime example of letting studios take the time to actually make the game, because that is one example of shareholders literally forcing the devs to just push whatever they can out, and it almost bit them in the fucking ass. But the devs were like, "We're dedicated to this. We're gonna fix this." They turned it around. Look at Cyberpunk now. People love that game. They love the story. They love the world. For me, day one, I was like, "This story fucking spoke to me." understood it immediately. It was gravy, perfect. Now the gameplay matches the story, and that's just the
Yeah.
best part.
Mhm.
So we all have had scammers. Am I right or am I wrong?
What we've had to
Yeah.
deal with.
How many times have you gotten called that your auto warranty needs to be renewed? Now it is you've been approved for millions of dollars in loans, correct? Well, if
No,
you
I've
have,
just gotten stuff for unpaid tolls.
well, that too. Oh, I forgot about the tolls. But now I want Nomad Nation to know that somebody has hacked Todd Howard's name
Hmm.
and has sent out over Facebook Messenger the following. Hey,
Anybody to build Elder Scrolls 6.
This is Todd Howard from Bethesda. You know the video game company ES6 and Fallout 5 are almost finished, but I need a $500 Apple iTunes gift card because we ran out of money. If you don't believe it's me, I have Phil Spencer with me right now. Hey, this is Phil Spencer. I'm actually with Todd. We just need a $500 Apple iTunes gift card to finish ES6 and Fallout 5. this is this is very it's comical, but this is like the seventh post that I've seen that is freaking identical to what I just read. So beware. They're coming for the gaming industry now. Oh my god. It's
I sent him something I can't say, so I sent it instead.
I'm doing it now in my head too.
oh no, I think I'm gonna find Todd Howard on Facebook. I'm gonna try and find this account and ask him if I can send him a $500 IOU.
That's so fucking funny.
That's funny. I don't know what's better, that or what's going on in Fortnite right now.
Oh, you're goddamn it! He's beating me to it, motherfucker.
So what's going on in Fortnite right now is Epic Games has added an interactive AI that's Darth Vader. They had a voice like a voice thing for Darth Vader in it, and it's an interactive AI. And they had to remove it because because it started learning from the players how to say cuss words,
That's
slurs, and
awesome.
everything in between.
That's
So
awesome.
you could be like, "Hey Vader, what do you think about this?" And
Don't
it would
repeat it.
go on a tirade.
Okay.
No, it would go on a tirade, and it would say like some not so great things, and it actually told a player to unalive himself. So they had to actually take the AI out of the game because it was getting a bit too toxic.
I just gotta say this right now. When will devs learn they can't do things like this because people will ruin it for others?
Fortnite.
However, I do applaud them. I do I do applaud them for even attempting it. I was hearing about this for a hot second now, and I've seen some videos of this AI. I will state, actually, the AI was able to pull some deep knowledge of like Star Wars and things, Star Wars lores. Oh my god, I got the hiccups. I'm so sorry. Star Wars lore and actually respond to it. So I was like, that's pretty interesting. And then I saw some of the videos where people got it to say unsavory things like certain phrases, like neighbor, for instance. That was one of them. That was funny. That was pretty funny. Um,
I think
that's
the funniest one was when Vader was talking about Padme.
we cannot delve more into these details. The
Yeah.
footage is out there. If you would
Yeah.
like to look it up, please feel free. It's pretty funny. So
Yeah.
feel free to do so.
Also, did you see that Call of Duty sent out another like terms of service stating that there are certain things you can't do in the game without being banned,
Oh,
like diddying. You can no longer diddy in the game.
What do you mean by that?
Otherwise,
You gotta explain it.
body
What does that
shield.
mean?
No,
What do you mean you can't body shield
we're
him?
not,
What?
we're not explaining Didion.
I don't know what that means.
I don't care.
Yes, you do, Chungus.
I don't know what that means
I
at
don't
all.
care.
Chungus.
Stop. Both of you.
No, you know exactly what it means.
I don't. You gotta
Okay.
explain that.
So
Wipe that smug look off your face, and I'll actually know.
we all know Call of Duty is not gonna enforce it. So they won't enforce it. No cheating. But
Also,
Yeah, they take fun away, but they don't get the cheaters out of there. Crazy.
yeah.
right. Um, I booted up Oblivion for the first time because I was bored, and I went into character customization, and I realized
Hmm.
how funny you can make those characters look.
You've always been able to in Oblivion, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
I
Made some
could.
monstrosities. I do have some news though as well. That's not just like filler, but go ahead, Godfather, because you were gonna go first. I see
So
you there.
this part really chaps my ass. It pisses me off to no end. I'm gonna read this to you guys. Try not to scream into your mic. Try not to top out our audio.
No
Randy
promises.
Pitchford tells fans concerned about Borderlands 4 costing $80. If you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen and to afford to buy the game.
All right. Give me a second. I'll be right back, guys.
Uh,
Right, I'm back.
Welcome back, Chungus.
oh, cool. Welcome back, Chungus.
He said that? And
Yeah.
like in a like there's he didn't type that out. That was said
Mm-hmm.
vocally.
Yep.
Randy Pitchford, count your fucking days, buddy. That
Okay.
you're not long for this industry if you have that type of sentiment. I'll tell you this right now. Blizzard's only saving grace is the fact that they had fucking WoW. If they didn't have the cash
WoW and
cow that is
Overwatch.
WoW, in WoW and Overwatch, if they didn't have those cash cows, the fucking stunt that they tried to pull with the Diablo
Four.
Apocalypse or Aftermath or whatever before Diablo 4. This is when they made that mobile game. You guys have phones, don't you? Oh my goodness, let me tell you.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on it. Here we go again with another CEO who
Out of
is
touch with reality.
pretty much telling his customer base, if you don't like the amount of the game, fuck off. We don't care.
That's honestly that's awful.
And
God damn you, Chungus.
Hmm.
You gotta
frustrator,
stop sending me private messages because you're gonna make me laugh, and it's gonna be out of context, and people are gonna
no,
understand.
no, stop.
Says what?
Now, Crustrider sent that to me on Talking Tuesday too, and I got pretty heated about it, and I just ran across it again, and it reminded me.
That you know what? The term that chaps my ass is as chapped as as a Sahara right now. Oh, that is infuriating, especially as a Borderlands fan because I've
It
enjoyed
was a good
almost every
game.
single one. Even Borderlands 3.
It's but here's the thing: is
Even the 3
Borderlands is
sequel.
just Borderlands is a mindless looter shooter that you can get on and play for hours and realize you not realize you went through hours of gameplay. The fact that they are doing this with Borderlands 4, that yeah, again,
They
that
are
chaps my ass
they are
because
definitely pushing it because Borderlands 3 was not well received.
mm,
From the fan base, it was not well received. From new fans, it probably was pretty decent for them. For people who
I
didn't
mean,
touch the
look at the
games beforehand,
Borderlands movie.
I fucking forgot about. I
Oh, there he goes again.
It's not
I,
screaming.
I genuinely just needed a second.
I thought you were going to
I
scream.
almost crashed out. I was going to, but then I couldn't. I almost crashed out. I had to just stop everything. Genuinely forgot about the fucking Borderlands movie. Oh my god. Yeah,
That movie was awful.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew it was gonna be terrible from the get go.
Yeah, so did I.
It's just the
Mhm.
casting choices were garbage. They genuinely, mm, I'll say this much: Borderlands 3 was a good game overall. That story was just the worst. It was boring. And I know that's rough to say for certain
Budge.
people because some people enjoyed it, right? Um, I just think that they made some terrible choices, killing off
Emily
certain
C
characters.
says, "To be fair, everyone knew it was going to be terrible." I mean, you're
Yeah,
right.
Who said that?
exactly.
Emily C.
New to
No,
Borderlands,
yeah.
but like the gameplay was great. Like I actually enjoyed Borderlands 3 so much that I looked into downloading mods to be able to skip the story aspects of the game just to play the game. I
Okay.
genuinely do not like the story that much. But again, going just to move us forward because I'm circling right now, the fact that they have the gall to try to be like, it's going to be worth $80. This story better blow me out of the fucking water. I know the gameplay will. I'm not worried about it in the aspect of the game being able to run well, play well, or feel good. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about their story direction. That's, to me, is a very important part of the game. I can slog through some shit gameplay like Cyberpunk if the story is really good.
Or Assassin's Creed.
RSAT, no,
Some of them.
that's a tough sell.
Some of them.
That's a tough sell stuff. Some of them, but not
Some
all of
of
them,
them.
man.
Not all, but some.
Got me sounding like RFK right now. Oh man, some of them. Anyway, anyway,
I think we need to
Jesus
clip that for
Christ.
later.
I did want to bring up the fact that there's a petition going around right now with the Andor season 2 closing up and people rewatching and realizing that Star Wars is actually pretty good when you allow people to make good media. It's
Mhm.
almost like when you let people actually create art, they are able to do so. If anybody's not watched Andor season 1 or 2, I recommend you go watch those and then go watch Rogue One and then watch A New Hope. And then, no, seriously, because Andor season 1 and 2 plays into Rogue One and it makes everything so much. They did a really good job. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's made me like Star Wars again. It gives me hope that Disney's not actually gonna fuck everything up. Just a little
Well,
tinky.
did you? And I will say Disney is getting very, very desperate when it comes to trying to make money because they just partnered with Formula One.
Mm,
Well,
That tells you right there that they're kind of getting a bit desperate.
I love my Star Trek. I love my Star Wars. Rogue One has got to be utterly the absolute worst Star Wars movie in history.
I
House of
knew you
Void
would
said,
have bad takes, but god damn, dude. What?
House of Void says Disney is losing their ass right now in the parks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say this. Um, that I know everybody has their own takes, but that's just an old head that loves the older Star Wars.
Nope. You're wrong on that one too. I think The Last Skywalker was a decent movie.
The Rise of Skywalker?
The Last Skywalker.
The last
It's the Rise of Skywalker, but I get your point.
Yeah. He's either talking about The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker, because The Last Skywalker is two mixed together.
Whatever the last fucking movie was, where Skywalker
Yeah, Rise of
dies.
Yeah,
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So
The
Where
last
Skywalker
dies,
dies?
same difference. Where Luke Skywalker becomes one with the Force. When he
Yeah, that's The Last
disintegrates,
Jedi.
that's the
dies.
Last Jedi, yeah.
That's The Last Jedi.
The movie's been out for years. Yeah, it dies.
Um,
Wait, what? Hold on.
That movie
it's
came out like
you hated The Last
2017.
Jedi.
No, I did not. I liked it. It had a lot of it had a lot of surprises in it. And for somebody who was hoping that the franchise would build more on the newer characters that they introduced us to, they failed miserably at that. Okay?
Well,
Hold on, hold on.
Well, look at his piece out.
They grabbed way too much into the past. and they kept the past storyline going way too long. The story itself was good. The movie was amazing. I was let down that they didn't take the franchise into the future. It died with that movie. I did like it. Rogue One, on the other hand, Rogue One was trash. I have never fallen asleep in a Star Wars movie
There it
until
is.
Rogue One.
There it is. You can't
Never.
follow narrative devices. I get it. Got it. Listen, I don't disagree that The Last Jedi in the sequel was objectively a good movie because it was. It had good things about it. I'm never gonna say the cinematography was ass or the choreography was just plain bad because people always like the frame by frame you can see the mess up here. When you're actually watching it, you're not gonna notice that immediately.
Mm-mm.
That's the whole point. That's you're not supposed to
Nope.
analyze everything, break it down because once you do that, you're ruining the magic for yourself. Don't be one of those jerk offs. Sorry, those a holes. Um,
Tell
Legitimately
it like it
though,
is, man.
I will state this right here, right now. The sequel trilogy as a whole, ass,
Oh yeah,
bad,
sequel trilogy.
all awful, and it's only because of the story. It's the story that gets me every single time, and it pisses me off to no degree. Uh, to the fact that
Well,
when when the Force Awakens was coming out, all of the advertisements were
well,
portraying Finn as the main protagonist. He was gonna be the Jedi. We literally have fact that they changed from that due to the fact that Finn would not be well received in China, and they like to play a numbers game at Disney. So they
well, yeah.
changed
I
it.
mean,
I want to state
I
this
mean,
right
look at
now.
that South Park episode.
I want to state this right now. If the story was like this, it would play out perfectly. Finn, Stormtrooper, in the new Rise of the Empire, turncoats. He's force sensitive. Escapes with Poe. He is on his way to becoming a Jedi. Ray's Ray's also on her way to becoming a Jedi. They're both force sensitive people they've met, that type of deal. The force connects them, that type of deal. Kylo Ren being a force user, not a Sith, because he does not follow the Sith code. That is one thing I do hate, definitely. There are no Sith in the sequels until somehow Palpatine returned. Are you kidding me? That was garbage. Let's be real here. That was just trash.
Well,
Trash right.
and that's why I
Hold on,
told
hold
you.
on.
That's why I told you
Hmm.
they relied too much on the past.
They definitely
I
did.
will say
However,
this.
Hold on.
let me. Okay,
I'll bite
let
you.
him go, and then I'm going to go, and then you can go.
I
I
get
haven't
this
talked
whole
a
point.
single fucking thing about
No,
this.
let me get my entire point out though. I keep getting interjected. Um, I so Kylo Ren, dark side user, not a Sith, because there were no Sith. Um, turns basically swap. He starts to get his redemption arc as Rey starts to fall more and more towards the dark side, becoming the new Sith. That would play out so much better where Ben Solo, because he's Han and Leia's kid, turns to the light side while some nobody, Palpatine's daughter or granddaughter, if they still wanted to go that route, I don't think so, but some nobody who doesn't know the Jedi or the Sith way uses it for her own selfish means, which is literally the Sith way, um, becomes the Sith. Finn and Kylo, however you want to go about it, but just in those arcs in general would have played out way better than I'm Emperor Palpatine's fucking granddaughter from his cloned son.
Yeah, that was garbage.
It was garbage. They could have did sequels a lot better. But for me, and that's my point. I have other points about Andor and Rogue One, but I'm gonna let you guys talk, so we spread it out evenly.
Ray, Ray as a character was an awful character, not because she was a woman, but because she had no development to her character at all.
You can say the same about
She
Skywalker in the first three.
Yeah, no, he's not
there
wrong.
was actual there was actual meat and potatoes to Skywalker though. With Skywalker, he
Mm-hmm.
was he he knew how to fly. He knew how to kind of
How did he know?
Yeah, I like to know the same thing.
I'd have to.
You don't need to. He doesn't learn. He's just guided by the force. That motherfucker is so strong in the force. The definite. Real quick, I'm so sorry.
Okay, hold on.
Finish your point. Finish your point. I'm not
Chungus,
gonna. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop.
when he first started fighting with a lightsaber, he did not know how to actually fight. He had to learn. With Rey fighting Kylo, he even though Kylo was kind of injured, she beat Kylo. That's not something that I feel like.
Okay. Since you're trying to list facts, correct you. One, Kylo Ren was shot by the bowcaster, Chewbacca's bowcaster, which was deliberately shown to fucking knock stormtroopers feet away from where they were shot. They were getting blown away. He tanks it, gets up, keeps fighting. He's an injured, experienced sword user, still getting fucked up to a degree, but dogging on these two non-experienced lightsaber users. He fucks up Rey. He knocks her unconscious. Ben picks up the lightsaber. She is only saved because she is a Mary Sue in that regard. I don't know what the term is, but literally Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker are the definition of the male versions of Mary Sue's. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can see through the sequel trilogy, Rey is progressing the same that they do. It's not explained well. We see some training sequences. Sure. We see Anakin get fucked up by Dooku. Sure. He's a non experienced sword user fighting a very experienced sword user. He gets fucked up, rightly so. And then the next time they fight, he gets better. And the next time they fight, he gets better. But until we see the animated Clone War series, we literally do not see his progression whatsoever. It's just assumed. That's what we have to do is assume that they're actually training and actually fighting. With that being said, going on to the Starfighter pilot thing of everything, the Phantom Menace, Anakin's just a great pod racer, just because. He's the best in the galaxy, apparently, just because. There's the Star Wars is a power fantasy, buddy. Every character that's main bloodline is going to be stupidly strong, and I'm gonna say that is why I like Rogue One so much, and I like the Andor series because we don't have any of that space magic bullshit. You have human fucking connections, and that's what Star Wars has been missing. Like Star Trek. Star Trek has the human emotions and connections within their characters, interconnectivity. You see a lack of that when you get to these super powered fucking beings. Anyway, my point, that's done. I yield my time.
But now, I'd like to amend my answer. Rogue One is tied with The Force Awakens as the worst in the Star Wars franchise. The Force Awakens was trash. Never before have we seen the Force encapsulate someone who is in space, freeze them.
That's not Force Awakens.
You're saying Last Jedi.
You're talking about The Last Jedi.
Is it the Last Jedi?
Mm-hmm. It's The
That's the
Last
second.
Jedi
That's
where
the second one.
When Leia got blown
Leah
up.
pulls herself to the ship with the Force.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay,
the second one. Yeah.
okay. So yeah, the second one is tied with Rogue One in my opinion. There's too
so
many
I was gonna say
goddamn
you
movies.
told you told you told me how much you hated The Last Jedi just because of that sequence.
Yes, because nowhere else in the franchise, I don't care if it's in the anime, I don't care if it's in the books or the comic books or this new garbage TV shows that Disney's putting out, you don't see it. They're all of a sudden in that one scene, they're reaching too far. The Force does not do that.
Uh, mm, mm. The Force is able to do almost
Thir-
anything.
Almost
You see
35,
it in the
40
prequels.
years,
Hold on, you see it in the prequels.
35, 40
You
years, they've
literally
never had it
see
in anything. And all of a sudden they
they
bring it in for
literally
the main character.
that's crazy how they also bring in the fact that oh yeah, you can save your loved ones from death as a possibility within the Force. We actually
Possibility.
do see evidence. We see evidence in shows and movies. And you want to talk just movies? We literally see evidence of the Force being used for splits. You ever see that dash they do in the was it the second movie, first movie? Yeah, no, for Phantom Menace. Qui Gon and Obi Wan force dash out of the hallway away from the harm. That's never explained ever again, never used ever again.
There's a lot of it with the Force that I thought they stretched too far.
It's it's open to
Well,
interpret. I'm not. Hey, I'm not
let's
gonna
let's
disagree that that was
let's get back
asked,
to
but
on topic for video games, shall we? We kind of
It
oh,
is because
you know what?
Star
Yeah,
Wars
yeah, yeah.
is
Sorry.
video games.
St- yeah, I was gonna bring up
yeah, but we're not talking
petition
about.
for Star Wars Battlefront 3 is blowing up
Mm,
because of the Andor series being highly rated. Unironically, I get people have their opinions, but objectively, it is the best of Star Wars we have gotten
I'm gonna have to check
since
it out. I
Empire
haven't seen it.
Strike Back. You really should. I think I. What is your? Let me ask you this: what is your issue with Rogue One? I
It's boring.
before I recommend this, why is it
Boring.
boring though? Why is it boring?
Couldn't tell you. I don't remember. I do remember one thing. I fell asleep. 3 times I tried to watch that movie and I fell asleep all 3 times. It's just boring.
So you need more action in your shows, in your movies.
You need to be
I
more
think
Star Wars.
That is
um
so Rogue One. When you say
But
more Star Wars, do you mean Force users?
I'm not from your time frame of this new Star Wars. I'm from the original. And it's hard for someone that is from the original trilogy to keep up with the timeline of them jumping back and forth like they're doing because we already know the story of the Death Star.
Yes, but having it detailed out is always a great thing.
The one
It's
thing
just like go
the
ahead.
one thing that I've always said about this new Star Wars, and Fireball can quote me on this, it's just a money grab. That's all it is.
well, I'm and talking about like there are certain series that were definitely a money grab. Like the Alkalite was definitely a money grab.
The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba, yeah, the
That
Book
was
of Boba
Star-Wars
Fett.
too.
That was a that was a
I
that
agree.
was a money grab. You know,
I
newer shows today like Andor, The Mandalorian, um,
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Yeah, I would say Ahsoka was a good TV show too. But um, talking about the Alkali real quick. Did you see that scene where she started swinging her lightsaber and all of a sudden halfway through
It starts bleeding.
the it starts bleeding red and it's like that's not the bleeding process of a lightsaber. You can't do that.
The act like I'm gonna be honest with you, not canon in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like
Hold
that
on.
show because they disrespected
Void
the
just got a
lore
comment real
overall.
quick.
Okay.
Void said ask Gaz if he likes the Star Wars land at Disney.
Like Star Wars Land at Disney, God's father.
I do.
All right, you like the new Star Wars. That's all I need to hear.
No, that's
But
not what that
I
means.
will
What that
What that
means.
I will
means, what that means is I like the Millennium Falcon.
with myself.
What that means is I can handle in small doses the new Star Wars stuff. But Star Wars Land at Disney is a majority old Star Wars. Go ahead, Fireball.
But again, like I was saying before I got cut off,
You did get cut off.
um, there are certain series that were money grabs, and I will agree with you on that. But there are the other certain series that do a great job of expanding on the lore. I remember us having a detailed conversation when Rogue One first came out, talking about how we don't know exactly how they got the plans to the Death Star. They even covered it just minutely in the Star Wars Battlefront 2 um um
Campaign.
campaign. Yep. And that hold on, my phone's just doing something funny. Jinx. Star Wars Land is old Star Wars. Yeah, that Sweet Kitty Pie just said that and said Jinx.
Is it only the
But
original trilogy at Star Wars Land?
No,
no, it's
Okay.
like episode one, two, three, four, five, six, and that's it.
no,
And maybe
So
some
prequels aren't old Star
and
Wars.
sequels.
no. It's the original trilogy, and it has some and not a lot, of the newest three.
I
It
don't.
has
Those three aren't. They're not real to me.
it doesn't have anything of Jar Jar Binks. It has the I guess what you guys would call episodes one, two, and three. It has very, very little, but it does have the New Order or the First Order or whatever the hell they're calling themselves. But that's about it.
But here's the thing that like, and this goes to any type of video game adaptation TV show we talk about. There's a good way, like there's a difference between taking source material and creating a new, but yet stuff that actually works within the universe for material, and then there's going completely off the rails and saying this is my creative experience and I'm not taking the source material. There's a difference to that. And I feel like Andor, Ahsoka, The Mandalorian, some of these new TV shows do a great job of they look at the source material and go, "Hey, look, this is what we got. This is what we're trying to add." And they do a good job at blending it together.
Well,
I mean, hell, look at I think it was The Mandalorian season 1 at the end of that season where Luke Skywalker comes out of nowhere and just starts demolishing those dark troopers. Was that season 2? Okay. Season 2 and just starts demolishing those dark troopers. It shows you the absolute just the rawness of the force that he has.
Well, and also it also puts into the fear of the whole thing of like Luke Skywalker entered the Emperor's chambers with Darth Vader and came
And the
out by himself with Darth Vader in his fucking arms. Would you not, as an Imperial, be fucking terrified of this individual? Because I know I would, and you see that on Moff Gideon's face. That's what I'm talking about when we're missing. Star Wars has been missing this like human connectivity within its own series. Like you don't see a lot of that. It's been pretty cheesy for the most part,
there's
and that's
one
okay. The campiness is okay. What we need want it to be a bit more serious. I want it to take itself more seriously, like Star Trek has. Star Trek,
there's
and correct me if I'm wrong. Star Trek has moved from that campiness of like, what was his name? I forgot how he
Kirk,
talked. Like, oh, yeah, Captain
Spock.
Stardate.
Spock, Bones,
Yeah, the original, like I'm talking about like the original series,
this
how they
guy.
moved from. No, 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 I'm not talking about characters. I meant the actual actor's name.
Oh, Leonard
He
Nimoy.
kind of talked like this
Right.
sometimes.
William Shatner.
William Shatner. Yes, moving away
James
from the
T. Kirk.
campiness of those types of actors and moving more towards the seriousness, like actually building onto that. And I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it seems like Star Trek has done. That's what Star Wars is starting to do, and they needed to do for a while.
Well, here's what I wish Star Wars would have done that Star Trek is very good at. Okay, you have got the original cast: Kirk, Spock, Bones, and Scotty. Right? That's just a highlight. And they moved from the original series into the first like three or four movies. Then they introduced a whole new cast, a whole new ship, a whole new storyline on TV, got the fans to fall in love with them, had another two or three movies, then introduced fans to DS9, Voyager. Now they're starting to fall off the rails with Discovery and with uh, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Because now they're falling into the Star Wars trap where they're trying to rewrite history.
I will say this because I kind of didn't get this be able to talk about this. Um, there is one series in the Star Wars that kind of is a money grab, but at the same time, it shows the humanizing part of Star Wars, and that was Kenobi.
I You're
I
right.
did
That
not
is
hold on,
so.
hold on, hold
Oh,
on,
yeah,
hold on,
yeah,
hold
yeah.
on, hold on, hold on. I did not like the whole storyline going up to it. Like the last episode series, because I think it was only a one series spinoff, one
Yeah.
season spinoff type of thing. they did a whole cat and mouse game between Kenobi and Vader throughout the entire thing, and then when they finally fought each other at the end, I loved the whole sequence they had with Vader and Kenobi fighting each other, and at the very end, you see Anakin just for a split second talking to Obi-Wan. That's the biggest thing that I loved about that whole series and about although it was a money grab because well, it's a one season spinoff.
Well, not even that. It was just a nothing burger happened. Like they didn't really delve as far into Kenobi's psyche as they should have, with him trying to protect the chosen one, son, fucking Luke. It didn't dive further enough. I do agree that it's a cash grab through and through. It had its good moments, absolutely, but overall, I feel like
The
they,
only good moment it had was the Vader Kenobi fight at the end.
yeah. And I will say this: I do understand the rewriting history is kind of as an annoying thing, but when it's not rewriting history, it's literally expanding upon what was told to us. So we have an actual visualization of how these plans, like Leia got these Death Star plans, because it makes it such a big deal. Because this entire time, I'm sorry, the entire time the Death Star is talking about being a planet killer in the original trilogy. Yeah, we see it blow up a planet. That's all cool and everything. But having these characters genuinely terrified of this because the information, like people didn't know about the Death Star, there's this weapon energy project. What the fuck's going on? Getting these plans was such a big deal. And then all of the sacrifices made to build the rebellion, to get these plans, it makes A New Hope and Rogue One, the payoff, so much more impactful.
Chungus, Fireball.
I'm listening.
We are out
No,
of time.
We've been
Hey, what's up, Nomad Nation? So, ooh, what a good conversation tonight. I always like this. So, if you didn't watch Talking Tuesday, go back to Godfather's page and take a look. Give me a comment, give me a share, give me a like, give me all that good stuff. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, I'm going to be streaming Star Trek Online. Uh, and
we
then
need you on Super Earth, Godfather.
you're not going to get me there. And then halfway through, I'm going to stop and I'm going to head to the Xbox and stream on Minecraft. And that Minecraft stream will probably go a little longer than 7, but that's okay. Um, and then we got Thirsty Thursday, and I'll announce what I'm doing over the weekend. Until then, I believe it's going to Fireball next.
All right, you are going to catch me on Helldivers a lot this week. Whether and I will try to stream it as much as I can, but I do have other life things I have to get done before I stream. Um, Helldivers, you are needed. Super Earth is under attack. We cannot lose these cities. I think me and Chungus, if the fight is still going on Friday, him and I are going to be doing a play together of Helldivers to try to help with the resistance. Um, he can agree with me on that when he comes up. Otherwise, it's just going to be me playing Helldivers because, well, with the new update that they have, it's it's fun again. So I probably won't stream Wednesday morning because I got some stuff to get done. However, Thursday morning and then probably Friday night at around 6:30, 7 o'clock Central Time is when we will do um Helldivers, but him and I have to sit down and actually talk about that. So you're next, Chungus.
hello. Hopefully you enjoyed that Baldur's Gate video. I thought the intro was pretty unique. Mm, mm. However, I'm not here to talk about the old video. I'm here to talk about the next one, this upcoming video. It's between undecided game, flipping between two right now. There's three options right now. It's either Ready or Not, Dead by Daylight, or Minecraft. I haven't decided yet. Once I do, you'll receive that video. That'll be great. Look out for those. And if you don't know what Ready or Not is, I think we talked about it a little bit on the previous episode. It is a tactical, immersive shooter. You play as a SWAT member within a fictional state that's representative of what Los Angeles is. A SWAT team, any of that. It's pretty fun, pretty good. Dead by Daylight is hard to explain off the rip. I'll give a better explanation probably in the description or something
You
that is
don't know
just for
what Dead
rustering
by
in.
Daylight is, you're probably living under a rock.
It's been out for like 9 years, but even if you're no, not necessarily living under a rock, it ebbs and flows with popularity. And Minecraft, if you don't know what Minecraft is, then yes, you are definitely living under a rock because it is the best-selling game of all time in all of history. Um,
Take all the
anyway,
time you want, Pookie.
expect all. I am definitely going to take all the time I am because I like to be nice, slow, and gentle with my people, right? I'm not quick, fast, and easy like these other two. All right. I take my time.
You're easy,
I get
Chungus.
down into the vocal range. I make sure you guys, you know what? Hold on. I bring out the voice and I just talk. And then hopefully you enjoy this. Anyway, it's probably messing with them that I'm taking too long. I'm, as Godfather would say, long-winded. I'll show you something that's long.
Yes.
Anyway, let's
What was that, Chungus?
no, that must have been the win. Must have been the win. That's what it was.
All right.
Well,
Well,
so three of us. All right. Yeah.
bye.
Damn.
That's it. That's your outro.
No.
Damn.
Get that motherfucker out of here.
Poof. You're out of here. You're
Get him
fired.
out of here. I almost said a bad word too. I almost said a really bad word. Almost
All
called
right.
you a neighbor.
Peace and love. God's Father's out the door.
This is Kaiser Chungus. Ciao. Got it out.